How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Okay. Loving the energy.
Yes. Can y'all hear me?
Hey, Lydia.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
You know, whenever you call, I'm coming. So.
I know it. And I appreciate it. Such a blessing. And shout out to my big sister, Shar.
Yes, shout out to Charlinda Parker.
Yes. She's an amazing big sis. She's always looking out for everybody who's around. She's so nurturing and loving.
Yes.
I love her so much. And shout out to Shar. She could be here tonight, but she's here in spirit, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Amazing. Yes. So tonight, guys, we're going to have just a simple conversation. And we're going to just really talk about some of the amazing things that Q has going on. And then we're going to allow some time for you guys to ask questions. So get your questions ready while we're talking. Just kind of really think about some of the things that you want to ask him so that we can be able to help you feel empowered and learn your way around the music industry and just a little bit more about what it means to be in business and the business behind music, okay? All right. Awesome. So cute.
What's that?
Hey, tell us about your journey. I want to know about Q himself. Who are you? How are you? Why are you?
Yes. So Q Parker is a native Atlantan. I'm a Grady baby. But I also claim the city of Birmingham as well because my family, my parents are both from Birmingham, Alabama, which means my entire family is from the state of Alabama. And so although I was born in Atlanta and I did all of my schooling in Atlanta, every summer I'm back in Birmingham. So Birmingham gave me a lot of love too. So whenever I am in Birmingham, I'm like, I'm home.
Okay.
But then when I represent the A all day. I started schooling here. I went to Thomasville Heights Elementary School. I went to Crawford Long Middle School and then Walter F. George High School, which ultimately turned into South Atlanta High School. And it's in middle school where I met my brothers, Mike, Slim, and Duran. And we formed the group. Performed at talent shows locally, showcases here in the city, and developed somewhat of a buzz. And here comes Sean Combs from New York, and we auditioned for him. We were just trying to get into the Club 112. Obviously, we was too young to get in, and so as he was exiting, we just kind of like hovered around him, and he was like, "Well, walk with me." And we were just walking and trying to sing at the same time. Obviously, he heard something that he liked, even in that small little introduction. He came back to Atlanta about 2 weeks later for us to do an official audition. We did that audition. He liked it. He signed us. We moved to New York, and then in 1996, the world was introduced to 112.
Amazing. So 112 was a real thing?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
So you guys were trying to get into a club called 112.
Well, we just knew from our manager that Puffy was coming in town.
Oh, okay.
And we couldn't get in the club, and so we had to just wait for him to leave. As he was leaving, he's like, "Yo, can we sing for you?" He's like, "Yeah, walk with me." So can you imagine trying to sing for somebody as he's walking? But the lesson in that is, I'm always trying to tell this new generation, like, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
That part.
Because as long as you prepare, preparation is the greatest showing of faith. I believe something is going to happen so much that I'm going to start preparing today, so that when the opportunity comes, I'm ready. And that's how we were, even as 16-year-olds. We just wanted to get into the industry so bad. It didn't care if we had to stand on the corner, if we were the 19th artist on a bill or the first artist performing with just two people out there. We was going to give it our all, and it turned out and paid. It came through.
That's amazing. The determination and the courage to keep pushing forward. Let's talk about that, because I struggle with that too. Yeah. You're my brother, so we act like these people leaving here.
Yeah, let's talk.
Just me and you.
Let's talk.
So I know me personally, I struggle with that because when the room isn't full, like we have a nice group here, but there's times there's not a lot of people, and I get real discouraged. And you just talked about being able to perform in front of one or two people and just still giving it your all. What's that like?
So I live by this regimen, this motto, and the motto is regimen plus consistency equals results. And what I mean by that is, if you establish a solid regimen and you are consistent in that regimen, the only thing can happen out of that is some kind of results are going to happen. And so when we commit to something, that's who we owe it to ourselves, the commitment. The room will always change, right? But if we're committed to the thing that we're doing, it matters not. And I remember being young, and our managers at the time would just drill. Get it like it's the back of your hand. Even if it was things that were supposed to come across as impromptu, it was like a rehearsed impromptu because we were just so on it. And so we learned even at an early age that the show stays the same. The presentation stays the same, regardless if it's 2 people, 20, 200, 2,000, 20,000. Everybody gets the same show because you just never know. Like if you do a lesser performance in front of 2, those 2 could be connected to the 20,000.
Yeah, that part. That's so, yeah. Awesome. So talk to me a little bit more about not only your stage presence, but how you were able to build the confidence to be able to keep showing up and be in front of those 2 or 20,000.
Yeah, I think the thing that really helps with the confidence is just repetition. The more you do something, the better you become. And the more you do it, it becomes like clockwork. You'll do it in your sleep. And so now as a performer for almost 30 some years, it's just second nature. When the lights come on, there's no other option. It's time to, when the light come on, it's time to perform. It's like you're just wired. It's almost like if there's any, athletic fans in the room, it's like Steph Curry. He puts up 1,000 shots every day. Or the greats like Kobe Bryant, the great late Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, like they practice in-game scenarios. So if you can imagine, maybe one of the drills is 2 seconds left on the clock. Well, if he does that drill every day, when he's really in a game and there's 2 seconds on the clock, oh, I've done this before.
Right.
This is second nature. So that's the way that, I've always approached anything that I do. I want to rehearse it and drill it so that it becomes second nature. So then when it's time to perform, it's just another rep.
Well, then how do you adjust to adapting or pivoting? Because I know that's part of the game as well, right? So when there's a situation where you have to adapt, kind of just pivot, what do you do or how do you do that?
Well, life is all about adjusting. And I think those of us who are not willing to pivot or even entertain the idea of adjusting, those are the ones that, get caught in the trick bag. Because we live in a world that is forever evolving. The world don't even stay the same. So why do you think you can stay the same? If you're still going to be a part of the world and you're living in this forever changing world, you have to be willing to maybe adjust your models, your standard operating procedures, just kind of like go with the flow of how things are moving. And I think that's a great gift that one has to possess, the ability to pivot, because no one ever said that we were just great in one thing. Like we're all multi-talented. Just because you were introduced to me as a performer, don't box me as that's all I can do. Like Q, why you over doing that, man? You just no, I don't just sing. I'm not even gonna let anybody try to box me to just being that, because he bestowed many gifts.
Come on,
So
Speaking of the many gifts and not being in the box, I know that you're a philanthropist. You really care about the community. You really care about making a difference and an impact. How did you go from being an entertainer to becoming a philanthropist and starting your foundation?
I think that I've always, I'm a lover of people. As far as I can remember, my mom always said, and my parents, mom and dad, I just loved to be in the center of the room. Whatever that was, if it was me dancing or reciting a poem or whatever the case may be, I thrived around people. But the thing that I realized as I have ascended professionally, I didn't do that on my own. There were some people praying for me.
Yes.
There were some people supporting me, sponsoring, driving me to and from rehearsal, sacrificing. And so I've always believed in the African word Sankofa. Like you have to reach back. You have to reach back to the next generation. You have to replenish the soil that has poured into you. Especially if you know where you are walking around every day, they put time into you, they put love into you, and so they invested in you. So I'm always challenging my peers, like, yeah, it's one thing to be super successful and multi-Grammy and multi-platinum and selling and all of that kind of stuff. But you didn't achieve those things by yourself. And so my challenge is, so now what are you doing to say thank you for all of the support that you've given? And so it's easy for me to create the Q Parker Legacy Foundation because I was once a child who wanted an outlet to be nurtured musically, which is why now through the foundation, that's one of our focuses. But I also grew up with great grandparents that I love to just sit and talk and wisdom share and exchange stories. So now I have an affinity and a love for seniors, which is the other part of the focus of the foundation, is the senior citizens as well as the children. And it's all about just the time, because again, I was once a youth who wanted somebody to lead, guide, nurture, and help me develop this natural gift that was inside of me. And so now that I've been able to achieve some things, I would be doing myself a disservice to the community if I don't turn back around and create opportunities for this next generation to be nurtured the same way that I was.
Absolutely, and I love that. And I've had the pleasure of being part of some of your events that you have had for the seniors in their homes, the concerts and the amazing things you do for them during the Christmas caroling, caroling with Q Parker and friends.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So 12 years ago, it was during the holiday season, and I was leaving Lenox, and I just so happened to pass Brighton Gardens assisted living facility. And for whatever reason, something was just like, man, just pull over there. So I pulled over, talked to the director of the center, and I said, well, what are you guys doing for the holiday season? She said, nothing, we're just doing a regular, we'll have some cookies and stuff like this. And I said, well, is it okay if I just come and sing? I want to just sing Christmas carols. So a good friend of mine, Philip Cornish, had a little Casio keyboard. And that first year we went and just sang Christmas carols. We had some light cookies and some snacks, and we sang Christmas carols. The following year, I came back and the director said, Q, they've been looking for you.
That's sweet.
And when I walked in there, you could just see their faces just light up, like he's coming, he came back. And that's the part that touched me, because the director shared with me that oftentimes these seniors are dropped off in these centers, and then that's it. They never get visitors, not even from their own children at times. And so when you think about the psyche of a senior citizen who maybe their neighbor just passed away yesterday, or the person down the hall may have just passed away or now has become ill. And in their mind, mentally, they may be like, well, I may be next, right? And so if these are the last days, I believe that these days should be filled with joy, happiness, love, excitement. And so when they see Q Parker and my team coming, they know we're gonna do bingo, we're gonna have karaoke, we're gonna aerobics, we're gonna do all of that, because I realized that day when I came back, they were like, where you been? We've been waiting on you. And man, if you don't like elderly people, man, like you just don't have a heart, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's my connection to the senior demographic.
Yes, and I love how you were able to type all that together with the wisdom and people imparting into you, so you can be able to give back in that capacity. So that's beautiful. But I know that's not the only way you give back.
Yeah.
So I know that you're big on, because people help develop you, because you didn't become an artist on your own, right?
Right.
You had some guidance, some coaching, some mentoring.
Absolutely.
All of that. And now you turned around and you started your own consulting business where you mentor and develop artists. So share a little bit with us about that as well.
So I'm a firm believer of artist development. I believe that it's just something about that 90s era. It's just something about it, man, that just has a stronghold on a lot of us. We just can't shake it.
Right.
And I believe we can't shake it because a lot of time, effort, money, resources were just put into the talent, us. Record companies were like, there's no way we're going to put millions and millions of dollars into an artist if we don't feel like we can get any type of ROI.
Right.
And the only way to kind of secure that return was to develop the artist.
Right.
And so being a product of artist development, I truly understand the importance of media training, vocal training, physical training, just understanding, perception, imaging, and all of those things. And I think that, I know that that is the component that I believe is missing in today's industry. Talented is all get out, so gifted.
Yeah.
But again, it's understanding the business more so being connected to the music.
Yes.
And the moment you realize that it's the business of music as opposed to the music business, it opens your eyes to a whole different, like you gotta know how to play the game. And I just believe that without that artist development, a lot of artists' careers are short-lived because they didn't have the full grounding and nurturing to be prepared for a career as opposed to a one-off. So I believe a lot of the artists now, they're getting into it as a stop through.
Right.
Oh yeah, I just do a record right here, but I'm gonna go back over here and do my other thing. Oh no, I'm gonna go over here and then put out a single and then I'll put out another one, but then I still gotta go over here and do my other thing. Well, when we came in, it was no other thing. This had to work.
Yes.
This had to work. And so you see a lot of the 90s artists still touring.
Yeah.
So I can say that I'm going on 30 years because of
You don't look like it,
the
bro.
development.
Bro, you don't look like it, bro.
Because of the development that was given to me. And so again, with paying it forward and returning the energy, I've created a musical entrepreneurship community that'll be launching in a couple of weeks. And it's all about just nurturing the talent, nurturing and supporting, providing education, information, and really, we just want this current generation to enter into this industry knowledgeable. Knowledgeable. Now, fortunate for me, the first contract that I signed wasn't the most favorable for me and my brothers.
Okay.
But here's the thing. It's almost like when you are in athletics, right? You sign like a rookie deal, right? Whatever that is, it's a rookie deal. But you gotta ball out them couple of years, the first 3 years. So then you create the interest to make the team want to say, now you're worth the max contract. The thing about the music industry is you rarely get through the rookie deal to even get to the max deal. And so I know a lot of artists who only had the one chance. And so another reason why I'm so committed to the educational part is because not only did myself and my brothers sustain ourselves through the rookie deal that wasn't favorable to us, we did work so that after it was time for us to renegotiate, we had created a nice value for ourselves to now get to our max deal. But I know a lot of my peers who didn't get that opportunity. So it's almost like I have no choice but to make sure, try to prevent the artist from even having to even think about entering into a deal that's not favorable for them.
Absolutely. So how do you work with them? How do they get involved in your program? How do they work with you?
So 2 ways. Through the foundation, we have a summer camp. The summer camp will be actually starting June 17th through the 18th, and it's a 2-week, 10-day summer camp for the kids, all who are interested in music. We have 6 modules: songwriting, the business of music, recording and production, staging and choreography, introduction to orchestra, and vocal training. And so it's 2 weeks. They have to register, do an audition. We only select about 30 children. I'll give you the link so that you can post it on the episode. But then from there, the musical entrepreneurship community is an online community, and it's an interactive every day. We're just having dialogue. I bring guests on to talk about everything from publishing to royalties to licensing to streaming, just all the components of what today's industry leans on. You can't be in today's industry if you don't understand streaming, if you don't understand licensing, if you don't understand publishing, and all of it. You just cannot. And if you think you're gonna get in it just because you can sing or just because you don't, you're missing it.
Yeah.
You're missing it. And just, even understanding, it's other things like how to choose your manager. Accounting, that's key. You gotta have the money conversation. Because again, I'm going back to 16-year-old Q Parker who grew up in the projects. I ain't never seen no money. I don't care if my advance one but $10,000. I never seen $10,000. And so now, I don't want to get into and I'm probably gonna get banned for saying this, but I just don't think that the structure of the entertainment business is designed for the artist to really, really win. Right? And so the only way that you're gonna win is if you understand that I am the business, I am the talent, and I will navigate myself how I want to navigate myself. And that means you may not need a record deal. Because nowadays it's so much stuff in front of you where you don't need to go into a system that only gonna give you but a portion of the pie, when the world of independence, everything is right here at your disposal. I don't need a record deal to put my music out because I can go put my own music out. And if I understand the business, I know how to navigate my touring, my merchandise. I can do all that by myself. If I just get a strong team around me that can help me navigate and move through this industry. If you have the knowledge, you don't have the knowledge, man, you perish. And I think a lot of us entered into this industry lacking the knowledge, which is why we signed those bad contracts that just wasn't favorable. Now, granted, we made a lot of money, but a lot of money in my pocket versus what was really made. By the time this go, and you look at like, yeah, I made a check, but damn, what was really made off of my back? And Jay-Z said it first, I'm a businessman. I'm the business.
Yeah, absolutely. So what advice would you give to someone who's an aspiring musician who's looking to be able to get themselves out there and be able to market themselves or push themselves out? Because it gets discouraging for you, let's be honest. It sounds all good, but you did go through the system, you built up the brand, and then now you're able to go off on your own. These days, some people aren't going through those channels. So if they're trying to get out on their own by themselves, what advice would you have for them?
I'm gonna go back to be a student. Be a student, research. Don't just look at the unsung episodes just for entertainment. Right. Really study them joints. Really see what were the pitfalls of so many artists that came before you. Just educate, but then also get attached to somebody like Q Parker and other people out there like me who are advocating for individuals to understand the business. There are so many things on YouTube. I live by the Donald Passman book, everything I need to know about the music industry. And they've made different additions throughout the years, but it just it's like almost like the music industry Bible. It'll give you the basics of how to navigate this industry. But I just always say, man, just be connected to people that you know the game. I'm a big component of the word mentor. Get somebody, man, who know the ropes that you can trust and that can help you, but you gotta know the business side of this thing, because if you don't, it can tarnish your love and have you second guessing if you really love doing this. And that's the thing that you cannot compromise. You can't compromise your connection to the gift because bad business is being done. Seen it happen many times.
Right. So let's go back a little bit and talk about, talk about '90s and the '90s and the music and how the energy and how amazing it was and all of that. I have a little birdie told me, you told me, he's the birdie, he's the son. But someone told me that you're bringing that back and you're about to work on a project that's going to help bring some of that old energy, that nostalgic 90s music back. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I am currently recording new music, and I'm just really excited about it because I'm just an R&B dude all day. I can't get away
crying
from
in
it.
the rain and in the sand.
I just can't get away from all of that. The reaching and pointing, like I'm a church boy too, but I'm an R&B dude.
But it started in church. Let's be honest. It started in church, though.
Of course. The church raised me, man, and nurtured my gift and gave me the confidence and all of that. But again, I'm just an R&B dude to the core. I like melodies. I like harmony. I like the music that's just gonna make you feel like you in love, even if you just in like, because it just feels good. And so that's the focus of this new project. The working title right now is the Ladies Project because I sing to the ladies. I sing to the ladies. Sometimes for my brothers because oftentimes they may not can put the words together, but you can also always press play. So it's just about just bringing that love, the love, life, and relationship, but melodically, it just sounds like that era.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that guys are able to send songs like "This is how I feel, babe."
Absolutely.
And send the track.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Like you
just
do all
press
the work.
Play. I got you. Press play. I got you.
I love it. So how do you balance? Because you have you wear a lot of hats, right? Father, husband, philanthropist, entertainer, all that stuff. How do you balance all of that? Like, how do you keep from going crazy?
Well, the first thing I want to say, I want to give a shout out to men all over this world. I see you, man, and I applaud you. Wake up every day and put on your shoes and carry the weight of just being a man. Deserves being recognized. And so, ladies, can y'all do me a favor, man? Can y'all just clap for these brothers in this room? But I just think that I know we were built to carry the weight that we carry. There's nothing like being a man. There's nothing like it. And so I pride myself on being able to juggle. It just shows just how special I am. It shows how special we are. That we do this every day. And so, one of the goals is to be able to establish balance. And as I've gotten older, I'm really understanding how all of that plays a part. Being in the industry, my younger years, it was all about music. And so that meant my wife, my children, my family, sometimes they had to sacrifice regardless of what it was. I can't tell you how many graduations or weddings or family reunions or family gatherings that I missed because I had to perform somewhere and couldn't get back in town. But those are moments that you miss. And, I'm so focused on, well, I gotta get it. But then you turn around and then there are precious moments that you can never get back. And so as I've gotten older and being an entrepreneur, I make sure that life is a balance. I believe in a checklist. Every day I get up, I want to put my 4 or 5 things on the checklist and be realistic on those things. I'm not putting 10 things on mine. I'm not putting 15 or 12 things on my list. I'm putting 4 to 5 because it does something to my psyche when I can look at it and see that I completed all 4 of my items today. And I still was able to pick up my son from school, and I was still able to go grab lunch with Charlinda. I was still able to go over here and have a meeting with my foundation. Like, I feel accomplished.
Right.
So
you have grandbabies.
I have grandbabies, yes. I have 3, yes. Yep.
Now, is it true that you love them more than your own children? I'm pretending not to.
So it's not that you love your grandbabies more than you love your children. He's just in a different space. Because I think as a grandparent, I now understand why we all love our grandparents. Because it's almost like their job is to just show up and just love on you. Love on you, love on you, love on you, and then send you back to your mama, your daddy. And so me as a GP, I don't say grandpa and all that. I'm too cool for that.
I'm not seeing how you do that.
I'm too cool for that. I'm GP. So, me as a GP, it's like I'm the exact same way. They can't do no wrong in my eyes. Those my babies.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So is there anything that you feel that the people need to know, not only about Q Parker, but about the legacy that you're leaving behind, whether it's for your grandchildren, whether it's for your children, whether it's for the people? Tell us something that you feel we need to know that you are leaving behind to be impactful.
Well, I think it started when I was having to name my foundation. I probably spent about 2 weeks on trying to figure out what I was going to title or name the foundation. And legacy just kept coming into my spirit. Legacy, legacy, legacy. And so the foundation was named Q Parker Legacy Foundation, because I really do believe in, as a community, we have to really think about legacy. We see a lot of times in other traditions and other cultures where, things are left. And so the generations that follow, they have not necessarily an easier ride, but they have a great starter kit. And so for me, one of my focus is just to make sure that not only is something being left, but the name is in good standings. I want the Q Parker name and the Parker name to just ring for generations because of the work that we've done, but not only the work that we've done, but making it so in a great space that now my children want to carry on the work that we're doing and be proud of the name. And then the grandchildren will want to be like, yo, my GP did this. This building has GP's name on it. And so one of the things, not only through the foundation that I believe in that. I have a plan that 2 years from now, I will be breaking ground and ribbon cutting the Q Parker Music Academy. Yeah. And again, that's stuff that continues to live on. And so as I'm sitting here telling you about my commitment to making sure this next generation is equipped, music is a universal language. It's never going anywhere.
Right.
And the music industry is never going anywhere. But how we how we are participants in the industry is what is going to make the difference. And so if I can get these babies from middle school to high school and really take them through a chartered day of school that super taps into their musical creativity, now they enter into the industry knowledgeable, because every day they're spending 6.5 hours on the thing that they really love, not just having to go to school for 8 hours and only 2 other hours are they really engaged because the other 6 are some stuff that they really don't care about, right? It'll solve a lot of things. It'll solve them being in a good space, but also it can kind of keep them off the streets because now they have a place that they can go and get fully nurtured. And so to have an academy with my name on it, it's going to mean a whole lot to me. And so just the things that we're doing in the community, which from the summer camp to the seniors, I just want when people hear the word or the name Q Parker, that it is a pleasant reaction. It's full of great smiles and great memories. And just to know that not only am I doing the work musically, but I'm also doing the work on the ground and replenishing the soil that gave me so much life.
That's amazing. Love it. I love all of that. Don't you guys love that?
Oh, let me say this too. For the musical entrepreneurship, I want you to go to, for those that are interested, go to joinqpme@gmail.com and just express your interest in the musical entrepreneurship community. We'll be launching in about 2 weeks But if you go there, you'll be entered into it's Join QPME, Q Parker Music Entrepreneurship Community.
Yeah, so it's join QP.
Join QPME at Gmail.
Yeah, so make sure you guys tap into that. Connect with him on Instagram as well, QParker112, to learn more about what he's doing. But right now, we're going to take some questions. Is that all right?
Let's do it.
Yes. So I know you guys probably have some amazing questions for Q. At least I hope you guys do, because I would hate for him to be sitting here and you guys don't take advantage of picking his brain, because you don't get this opportunity often. So I want to know if anybody here has a question for them to be able to go ahead and ask it. Try to repeat it. I don't know if this First, thank you for being here. In the words of Jay-Z, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. How do you get celebrities or artists to care about social issues? Because I work in CJ Reform, and sometimes it's hard to get people to care unless they go through it, like a Meek Mill, and then they form the Reform Alliance. So how do you get artists to care about like human issues?
Wow, that's a great question. And I think that's the one thing that I join you in trying to get my peers to be more active in the community and socially. Because the one thing that we have to realize is not only are we entertainers, but we are persons of influence. And if I go on somewhere and say, I'm only eating at Rocksteady, I've now influenced somebody who loves Q Parker to be like, well, shoot, I'm only gonna eat at Rocksteady. And so really embodying the idea that I am a person of influence. I think this is what all entertainers have to do. First and foremost, identify that I am a person of influence. And that influence ain't just, what I'm wearing or what I'm listening to, or it's not just those things, but it can really be used in a more serious place as aligning yourselves and supporting certain social issues. But I think that that's something that you got to have it or you don't, honestly. You got to have a genuine care for your people, for whatever that cause is. And unfortunately, it doesn't hit home until it hits home. Yeah.
Thank you. Question.
You're welcome. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Okay, that's all right. All right. So for your current project that you're working on, have you completed it at this point?
I am about 75% complete. Yeah.
And do you do writing camps for any for writers as far as for general projects and even your own?
Absolutely. I so believe in writing and writers camp. However, my focus as of late has been writing camps for the children. However, I can connect you with some that are for for adults that are writing camp. I have a slew of songwriters that are my good close friends that does a lot of writing camps, but I personally don't do any but for just the children. Yeah.
Question right here.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any non-90s artists that you feel like have captured that nostalgic that you all used to bring, like that you listen to and you like, oh, he got it, they understood the assignment. Like, who do you listen to?
I think Lucky Day does a good job.
Yeah.
Yes. Herc.
Yeah.
Herc does a good job. Let me stop right there because yeah, but those are the first two.
Okay.
But I still have I got some that are from the 90s that's still rocking. Usher, Chris Brown, they holding it down and they doing a very good job.
We have one question right here.
Hi. What's your
Hold on.
oh? Hi. I wanted to ask, what's your advice on picking a good marriage?
We have a music attorney in the building too. So right, I'll say something, you wanna add, just kind of add your
Got
2
the
cents.
plug already.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man, I always start with belief. Because I never want anybody advocating for me who don't believe in me and what I'm doing. So I want a genuine love for my music, my creativity, my vision. I want you to be able to share the vision. We should be able to speak the same language, whether I'm there or not. That's how in tune you are with me. Now, I personally like to know that my manager isn't just managing me musically, because with me comes my wife Charlinda, my children, and the things that are important to me. So to manage Q Parker, you manage all of the things that comes under Q Parker. That's the first thing. The second thing is I want that manager to be knowledgeable. I want that manager to be able to have certain conversations, go in certain rooms, and I want to be proud that my manager can speak the language, can educate in some instances, but just know how to handle and conduct business on my behalf. And then the third thing, genuine love, knowledge. I think those are the two for me. Want to add something, my brother?
Yeah, I think that basically what you want to do is make sure that you're on the same page.
Yes. Here you go.
I got you.
And this is Attorney Eddie Key, FYI.
My
Yeah,
nephew.
Attorney Eddie Key, EO Key lover. What I think is you need to be on the same page, have a true understanding and expectations when it comes to a manager. I think sometimes you go into a situation and really you're not on the same page when it comes to who you choose. And if you have that true understanding, those difficult talks, those real talks, people come in and say, oh, I listened to you, you sound great, let me be your manager. And you really aren't even on the same page in regards to what you expect from them and what they expect from you. So I would really suggest that you have those talks, even before you get into the legalities associated with it, because along with that comes paperwork, right? Black and white. In those pages, not everything is always written because you have to live life. You have to work with that individual on a daily basis. You have to interact with that individual. So you have to be on the same page when it comes to that before you even get to the black and white, before you even get to the paperwork. And obviously, you have to have the paperwork. You want to make sure that you have that understanding in black and white. So you know exactly what to expect from them. They know what to expect from you. And so when you're sitting down with that individual and they're not doing their job, or you're not doing their job, they can hold you accountable for that. So have an understanding, be on the same page, and not just let it be about that song you sang last night that they loved and they saw the crowd going crazy about. What comes along with that is you. And let them, just be sure that they want to marry, because that's what it is. They're marrying you and everything that comes along with you, like you said.
Absolutely. That's good.
Absolutely.
Judith Jules, realtor.
Hello. So I don't have a question, but I have a story. Quick story. So at 18, I joined the Army and I served active duty for 4 years and I was in the National Guard for 5.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. So 112, y'all made me look really good in college. So I had military plates, National Guard, and it was 112. So I got pulled over all the time. All the students, people would ask me, are you one of 112? I'm like, yeah, I'm your manager. Thanks for making me look good.
Any other questions? Please state your name, your business before you ask the question so we know who you are.
Rodney, and I'm an assistant to Anthony.
And
Look,
Anthony is?
Anthony is a very powerful consultant from New York who works all over the country, and I'm honored to be a part of his team.
That's not true, by the way.
He's humble. He's also humble. It's interesting because I follow you. I grew up, rock with your era, and you're coming back now. The thing that I'm intrigued by is, as you prepare to come back into the music scene, you said earlier, the world continues to evolve. How do you factor in the AI scenario? Because there are now songs being made that sound pretty good, but there's no artist involved. And it seems to be a trend that's going to continue to grow, especially when you're able to monetize it. So it's even tougher now for an artist, a real artist, to come into this genre of music, which is a global marketplace now. When you've got people that are releasing songs every day on AI that people like, this shit sound pretty good. So speak to how you feel, you know, that issue will affect future artists, including you coming back here right now.
That's good. That's a great question, man. Great question. So I had a conversation today, Mike. So I was having great question, by the way. I was having a conversation today with one of the performance rights organization who is putting together a coalition to actually go to Capitol Hill to really lobby this idea of what AI now means to artists. It's something that, like, when you think about it, AI has always kind of been here, whether it's Siri or spell check, grammar correct, like it's always been here. Now it's just like really, really in our faces. And we have to really figure out how to still be who we are, but be able to utilize AI for what it does. And I know some artists who have figured out ways to integrate AI into their creative process. The thing that I think is going to be a focus for me is I know who the Q Parker fans are. And so I can just kind of super direct all of my content to those that have followed me from the 90s. And I can use the marketing that I know that they can do for me when I release new music. That can kind of be like a modern day street team for me that'll help, get word around. And it's just one of those things that we have to figure out how to coexist with. It's almost like when streaming came into the play, we were accustomed to, even go back, we were accustomed to the cassette tapes, and then the CDs came in. And we had to make, yes, we had to make that adjustment from cassette to CDs, then from CDs to now streaming. We've always figured out a way, and I just think, with this bill being lobbied, it'll kind of give some structure to how we'll be able to kind of coexist. But it's one of those things, man, where it's here. Yeah. And we can't get away from it. The thing that the PROs are just trying to figure out is, like you said, who gets paid? Yeah. It's great music, but money is, the conversation I was having was so interesting. The gentleman was like, I can't say the name of the artist, but there was a song released last year that was an AI song that performed crazily. Yeah. And the company is sitting on millions of how that song performed, but don't know how to pay it. It's just sitting there. So we have to figure out, and I don't have the direct answer. I just know that we have to figure it out, and there are conversations being had real time right now on how we're going to have to integrate AI in this process.
Awesome. Any other questions?
How you doing, Turner Roberts? I'm a music producer, and I just kind of wanted to know, like, I feel like in today's age, for me and what I've experienced, like, so much of it has been online and like sending loops out and melodies. And so I kind of wanted to know, like, if you or me, like a younger version of yourself, like what kind of steps would you do to like work with artists more so in person and collaborate more in person?
Yeah. Much different. I think getting out, being visible, and networking is such a vital component to being an entertainer. Because when you do these networking events, you'll meet somebody who already is kind of like in the game or in a system where now whether you become a mentee, you become an intern, you become whatever it is that connects you to somebody that's already doing it. And one of the things too is sometimes that takes a hit at pride sometimes, but then I'd ask, how bad do you want it? And are you willing to do the things that are necessary for you to get that opportunity that you're so seeking? When it comes to the musical component of it, I always believe, man, stay true to who you are as a musician. And regardless if the trend now is doing these loops, as I teach my my summer campers, I say, man, you're not a beat maker, you're a composer. You are a musician that has melodies and you actually play the chords, you actually can get on the drum set. Like, don't compromise your musicianship because the trend is just finding a loop and just making that loop go for 4 minutes. If you are a true musician, man, stay true to that, because you will have some people who don't want the loop. They want a true musical composition. And so if you are a musician, if you are a composer, man, stand for that, because I do know that if I provide something, somebody is going to come specifically for me to get what it is that I have.
Right.
Appreciate
Awesome.
that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Q, for your time.
Thank you.
And your energy. And I want to really, really thank you. So I have something special for you.
Oh man, okay.
Yes. So, of course, here at the Elite Circle, we are sponsored by or presented by livelikeVIP.com, which is a hospitality brand which helps to create experiences for people so they can live like VIP all the time. It's not just when it's a special occasion, but all the time. And the Elite Circle is one of the experiences that we provide so that you can feel like a VIP and access VIPs and be able to learn from them as well. So I want to present this to you.
Aww.
As my big brother. I know, say aw. Thank you guys. Yes. So from livelikeVIP.com, presented to Q Parker, entertainer and philanthropist, in recognition of your outstanding contributions and expertise as an influential individual in business and leadership, and in appreciation for your impactful participation and inspiring presence as a future professional at the Elite Circle. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I love you.
And thank y'all for your time and your ears.
All right, give it up for Q Parker. Yes. And again, we have the Elite Circle every second and fourth Thursdays where we bring professionals to come and speak to you guys and let you guys know more about what they do and how to be able to conquer the different challenges and different successes that you will encounter on your journey to success. So thank you so much, Q, again, for being part of this and being part of my circle. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm gonna ask the person in the back to flip the switch. If they can hear me, you could go ahead and flip the switch, but thank you guys all for speaking out a little bit more. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you.